So Le Mans Ultimate released this week in early access, and reception for the official World Endurance Championship simulator has been fairly mixed. Now, I'll admit it took me a lot of time tweaking settings to get the game working in a playable state, but honestly it's really surprised me. But is Le Mans Ultimate worth the purchase? Well, it's a little complicated, and I'll explain whether or not you should purchase it soon. But first, let's take a look at how the simulator looks in our immersive cockpit.
Cameron is leading the race. Bad luck on the start, mate, but you're going to have to make your own look now. Clear right. Right side's clear. On your right. Right side's clear. E9. Okay, Alex, the next car is Duresta. Clear right. Come on, Alex. Nicely done. B7. Right, the guy ahead of us is Estra. The driver in front of us is Conway. Your tyres are cold, watch out. Right side, you are clear on the right. There's a car on your right, right side's clear. Car on your right, clear on the right.
just done a 139.6. New fastest lap for Greedy, 139.4.
But now the big question, do I think Le Mans Ultimate is worth purchasing? And I'll break it down really simple. First off, the driving experience in the game is brilliant. I mean, I have to say that the GTE and LMP2 classes have some of the best force feedback that I've ever experienced in a racing simulator. When it comes to the hypercars, I did feel that the force feedback was a little light or floaty at the start of the race on cold tyres, but then as you get them warmed up, things start to feel pretty good and fairly grippy. So overall, the simulator itself has a good quality driving feel even in its early access state. Now, if you love multiplayer racing that's quick and easy with a solid ranking and progression system, then this game is definitely worth it. And honestly, this is what got me hooked. I mean, you have so much variety with fast-paced events, 3 different classes of racing, as well as longer multi-class events, and all of this happens on an hourly basis. Races are really easy to join, and the game matches you with opponents of a similar skill level. But then on top of that, you've got a really addictive progression system where your race results influence your respective driver and safety ratings. Placing higher on the grid increases your driver rating, and racing clean increases your safety rating. Then on top of this, once you hit certain safety rating milestones, it then unlocks even more series options for you to race in, which means even more choice on how you play the game. Servers have also been really stable for me personally, and out of the 10 or so races that I've done, I haven't been disconnected or even experienced heavy latency in any of them. It's a very simple, streamlined experience, and if you love your multiplayer racing, then it's easy for me to recommend this game for the $31 price tag. But now we get to the single player, and if you're looking for a well-polished single player experience filled with features, then I can't recommend the game in its current state. Due to Le Mans Ultimate's advanced tyre model and AI, the game is extremely resource intensive on your PC. So unless you're running a fairly high-end machine, you're going to struggle running it at the usual graphic fidelity that you're used to on other simulators. That's then coupled with the fact that the game being an early access title lacks a lot of optimization. This results in extremely poor frame rates in game, which is also due to the fact that the game doesn't let you reduce the amount of AI on the grid to curb this. So racing on some tracks leaves you with big grids with over 30 cars, requiring you to turn down your graphics to an extremely low level just to make these races playable. The single player also features a lot of game-breaking bugs, and crashes can happen pretty often, especially during the loading screen. Single player is limited to a race weekend with no options of a championship mode yet. Multi-class races for me were extremely resource intensive on my PC, so I was limited to single class races in order to get a decent frame rate. But as questionable as the single player experience might sound, let me emphasize something for you here. This is an early access version of the game. The whole point of an early access is that players can purchase the game at a heavily reduced price tag in exchange for an early build of the game, which then enables players to provide direct feedback to the developers in regards to its features and any bugs or issues they might be experiencing. And I have to say that I'm really impressed by the attitude of Studio 397's development team when it comes to this. They've been extremely active with the community, deploying hotfixes and direct support for players' concerns and bug reports within the first week of its release. And if they continue this way, I've got no doubt that we have a really great game in our hands, because the base of what's there in terms of the physics and driving feel is really good. So to sum things up, if you love your multiplayer racing, then the Le Mans Ultimate is definitely worth the buy even now. But if you're looking for a polished feature-filled single player experience, then at this time I'd say give it a miss. Now hopefully this gives you a clear idea on if you should purchase Le Mans Ultimate or not, but if you feel you need to see more of it, then we'll be focusing on the game for a while now since I'm having so much fun with the multiplayer, so keep an eye out on the channel for that. But as always guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.